And here's our next guest, Addy Townsend from the Simon Fraser Track and Field Squad. Now, Addy, I understand, though, that you are not up there in Burnaby tonight, but you're in Phoenix. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Got to escape the bad weather and get some good training in the heat, and that's what we've been doing for a couple days now. Just after the race in Boston, we headed over here, and we've been having great practices, so I'm really excited to get back with the team and be at GNAC soon.
Well, you are going to be at the GNAC soon. Matter of fact, it is coming up here. Matter of fact, the schedule is going to be Friday and Saturday at the Ford Center there in Nampa, Idaho. Now, you talk about that Boston experience. You automatically qualified for the NCAA Championships in the mile at the David Henry Valentine Invite there in Boston with a time of 4 minutes, 40.40 seconds. And that is number 2 on the GNAC's time list. And also it's number 3 in Division II this season. So when you were on the track there in Boston, at what point did you say, this is a good run for me?
So I think going into Boston, I had it in my head that I wanted to have a really good mile just to give me that feel for what I wanted to do at Nationals, which is still undecided. So I think, the first half of the race I wouldn't say was my best, but I had it in my mind that I need to learn to run to win. And I think I was just very competitive. I stopped worrying about the time and said, okay, I need to start winning these races. I need to start being competitive. And that's when good times come. So I think that attitude made me run that time.
Well, winning is something that you're no stranger to. You've won the 800 meters at the GNAC Indoor Championships in 3 out of the last 4 years. So I have to ask you, 800 meters, mile, what? And again, as a middle distance runner, you have the opportunity for several events. What's your favorite?
So I think, I don't know. That's a great question, but I think working off the 8 and the mile together is always going to give me that, strength from the mile and speed with the 8. So I'll always do both. And I don't even know if I have a favorite necessarily. I love both of them, and I'm lucky enough to be able to do both at GNAC this year. I'm going to test myself, get to do both, and really test my strength going into it.
You're the reigning GNAC Women's Track Athlete of the Week. And again, they could almost retire that trophy for you. This is the 4th time this year you have won that award. Now, I understand that you're not out running for individual accolades like that, but does that, for you, quantify the fact that you're having a good year?
Yeah, I think getting that obviously helps the confidence, and it just, again, reminds me that I'm capable of running fast and being awarded of those type of awards. So I think that's always helpful in the back of my mind to keep me motivated. But all my team has been amazing. The DMR, we didn't think we even had a chance, and going into that race, we gave it our all, and I think that's what makes me so excited, because after this ends, and this is my last year, the DMR isn't necessarily going to be what I'll be running again. So I think that's really important for me this year, is just to have fun with it and run fast, and that's what I've been doing.
Does that in any way, that distance medley relay, does that also, you talk about the 800 and the mile, how they kind of play to each other's strengths and help each other out. Does being part of the DMR team, does that do anything for you as well in terms of your individual events?
So I think the DMR is a chance where I kind of get out of my own head. I'm getting the baton, I'm running for my teammates. I get to do the mile at the end of the race. They're all there cheering me on. They're so excited to be, maybe getting a chance at Nationals. And I think that just really motivates me in a different way than my individual events, because I feel like I'm running for a team. And that's something that I've missed about track at some points, is just being individual. And I've always been such a team player. And I think the DMR has really been a point of my career that I've really enjoyed and I'm going to miss.
Yeah. Well, okay. You talk about you're going to miss that, but you have the GNACs coming up this coming weekend. And I get from your voice that that you may want to continue running well after your collegiate career is over. In the back of your mind, and as a native of Coquitlam there in British Columbia, would you ever like to wear the Olympic uniform for Canada?
Yeah, I think that's a question that I get asked a lot, with my mom being, great athlete herself, representing her country. So I think that's definitely something that I think about, but I'm trying to there's always a saying that my coach says is focus on the process, not the outcome. And I think that I've really made sure to do that, is just take every day, have great sessions, be in the moment at every time, go to GNACs, go to all these events that later on in my career I'm going to look back at and be so happy with them. And, living in the moment is something that I'm truly doing this year. And then whatever happens after is what I'll tackle then.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about the process. This weekend, the GNAC Indoor Track and Field Championships at the Ford Center there in Nampa, Idaho. What are you doing right now to prepare for the events you will be participating in this coming Friday and Saturday?
Yeah, so definitely preparation is an essential part of competing at your best. And I've got a huge weekend, five different races, and that's going to be a lot on the legs, but a lot on, mental too. So here we're making sure, eating well, having lots of water, it's hot here, having great practices, but just, having fun, relaxing, and getting ready for the big day. And I think it'll be lots of fun.
Are you nervous? Are you excited? Is it a combination of the two?
So I think this year has been a bit different. I try to not get myself too nervous, because in the past I've, worked myself up for each event, getting so nervous, having specific times in my head that I want to hit. And I think this year is just making sure that I'm confident in my abilities, thinking back to all the good workouts that I've had. And I think that's allowed me to not necessarily be nervous, but try and be more excited for all these opportunities, especially in my last year, just making sure I'm having fun with it. And I think that's something that I've really tried to do in every race. Of course, I'm still going to get nervous, but I think just controlling it and trying to make it more excitement has been really good for me.
Well, Addy, I'll let you get back to resting and hydrating and doing all the things you want to do ahead of this weekend's GNAC Championship event. Thanks for joining us. I do hope we have the opportunity to speak again during the outdoor season. Good luck this coming weekend. And I'll tell you one thing, I would like nothing better than actually to see you someday in the colors of Canada there in the Olympics and have the opportunity to say, yeah, I know her. That would be a thrill for me. So continued success, and I hope we will talk before the end of this year once again here on GNAC Insider. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure.